all those fighting souls, but yet across the world I see you standing in my way. And remember the time, the place we used to fight, like the sun and moon. And I wonder if ever there was a time that we were friends. Night has fallen, shadows looming, and yes, that time has come for me to seek you out. We are set now for our last reunion. Break the chains, find your way, come find me. Do you remember who you really are? Show me that you are still the only one for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise up, open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time. We will flash, no matter where. We will fight, reaching across time and space. 'Cause you are my destiny to the end. You see the dawn, the flames burning brightly, shining on those memories. And yes, across all time I see you turning the tides. And do you see now our time, our turn? We can still fight like the wind and fire. And wonder no more that now is the only time your heart is mine. Light has fallen, darkness grows, and yes, we fight for our destiny and fate. New days smiling for the past and future. Break those chains, lead the way, fight with me. And when you wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters again, we are rebels till the end. Rise up, open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals again until the end of time. Show me that you are still the only one that matters for me. I'll be waiting for you. Wait up, open your hands, holding on to your heart. Look inside you. Can you feel it? The sparks in you. Light it up, unleash it. Wake up, open your eyes, raising up your fists and smashing through time walls. Before the rift splinters yet again, we are rivals till the end. And rise up, open your minds, hold on to your powers. No one can stop us. We are rivals till the end of time.
Hello? Whoa, whoa, what's going on here? Hold on, wait a second. Hello, check 1 2 3 1 2 3. Hello, hello. Probably very loud, aren't I? Hold on, let me turn that down a little bit. Oh wait, no, I should be fine. I'm just out here gaslighting myself. Oh hell yeah. Hello, hello. Twitch, YouTube, how are we doing? Hope you're well. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat right here. Aw. Twitch, the boy Victor World, of course. I like that new name you got, man. I like that new name. I've been cracked in this game. Dude. What have you been playing? Quick Match or Conquest? I've been loving Conquest. I'm not sick of it yet. Although I'm ready for them to add more maps, probably like in season 1. I want some more conquest maps. I like that a lot. And then we got over on the YouTube side, Mark. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome in. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm not. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize, but hello, howdy. Matthew, hello. I'm ready for some lore. Me too. Me too. It took a couple days off, but I'm ready to get back into it. Oh, give me 1 second. Apparently my bit rate is extremely high right now. I forgot to adjust that. Let me turn that down just a little bit. How's the audio? Can you hear me all right? Can you hear the music? We're about to do some reading. I don't want to get drowned out or anything. Oh, what's up, Daniel, over on YouTube? Hello. Welcome in. Okay, let me lay it down to you like this. We're going to change up the format a little bit, which I'll explain as we're recording the first video. That's what we're doing here. We're recording the videos live right here. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, if you're over on Twitch, we're doing a YouTube series where we go over the lore of all the heroes in Marvel Rivals. We read it, we discuss it, we know the story. It's a series that it's slowly, not slowly, it's rapidly, that's the word, rapidly becoming popular here on the channel. People are loving it, I'm loving it, we're having a great time. And so we're going to be recording some of those videos live for the first time. I decided to go live just on a whim before I started recording. I was literally about to start recording videos and I said, might as well just do this live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. So I do apologize. I think I'm just going to put the story on the screen as I read it, because that's kind of the only way that I'm going to be able to read it. So, you know, there's not going to be gameplay or anything. It's going to be a very chill stream here as we read the lore. All right. Just want to get that out. It's Nolan backwards. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. All right. Oh, Zach Baker. Hello, hello, hello. Joel, welcome in. Hey, yo, appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you appreciating me. Oh, hell yeah. This has been crazy. The support for this series has been absolutely insane, and I thank you very much. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. All right. Zach is asking who's next. Ideally, I got about 2 hours I could be streaming, maybe even more, depending on if things shake out that way. But depending on how, I don't know, man, because these stories, let's just look at the Spider-Man one. Look at this. These are, yo, the developers. Let's give a shout out to the developers. Not only is the vibe there, as in the style, the gameplay is fun, they seem to have a vision for the game. They put so much thought into the lore. Look at how long this one is, this specific one. And every story we have done so far is about this length. They're like considered short stories, but they're not very short. As in like, you know, maybe it's like a 20-30 minute read. I guess that's quite literally a short story, but like, we're not just talking about like 5-6 paragraphs, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure how many stories we're gonna get through here on the live stream. I'm thinking like maybe 2-3 minimum. I don't know why I said minimum. I just put a limit on myself. That's a direct contradiction to what I was just talking about, but you get what I'm saying. But I'm thinking first up, we're gonna go over the lore of Black Panther. That's how I want to start. I want to jump back into that into that universe with Wolverine and Black Widow and all that. I want to see how they got with a partnership with Wakanda. I'm assuming they're going to explain it here, unless this is a completely different Black Panther, which I kind of doubt. But I'm excited. Okay. By the way, I'm going to explain it as we start recording, but we are switching up the format a little bit. I'm going to be reading the story for the videos again, because people have been asking about that. So we're going to switch over there and read it word for word. Sounds amazing. Let's do it. I want to see Namor too. Oh my. All right, let me start recording. Perhaps a trip with the Guardians later could go from Black Panther to the Guardians. Fury tells him to go to Clintar. Ooh, oh, that's why Adam Warlock is there? That would be interesting. We may do Adam Warlock here on the stream as well. I've been wanting to see how Adam Warlock got there. Okay, right before we start, the audio is good, right? You could hear me? I'm going to be recording my audio separately, so it's going to be fine for the YouTube version, but just here for the stream. Can you hear me all right? We could turn down the music if it's a little bit too loud, though. Music is too loud? All right, yeah, give me one sec. Give me one sec. How's that? We good now on the music? I'm assuming we're good on the music. I assume. All right. Sounds fine on YouTube. Ah, here we go. Right. Just a fair warning. I'm not a perfect reader. All right, probably not gonna be all in one take every sentence. But I guess that's part of the charm, you know, of doing this live. All right, I'm recording. Let's get started. Should I mention that we're doing it live? Let me think about that for a second. Well, I want to make this a live thing. Huh. No, we don't have to, I don't think. No, we don't have to mention that we're live doing this. All right, here we go. Let me do the intro first, and then we're going to jump into the story. All right. Sorry, I just got a text. All right, here we go. You can do it right on the beat. Oh, this is the end of the song. All right, let's wait for the loop. We gotta wait for the loop. Actually, it's not the end of the song. What am I doing? Well, let me just go back. Here we go. I gotta get into the mood. I gotta get in my narrator vibe, you know what I mean? It is about that time. Marvel Rivals has a lot of backstory for each character with Easter eggs for characters that may join the game in the future, and storylines that may be explored in later seasons. It is a lot of reading, so I am here to catch you up while you can keep playing the game. Welcome to another episode of our Marvel Rivals lore series, where this time we learn how King T'Challa, the Black Panther, became a rival. And we are covering T'Challa on this episode because it was suggested by Benjamin Bishop in the previous comments. Oh, brother! I was doing so well. I was doing so well. All right, here we go. Let me try that one more time. And we are covering T'Challa on this episode because it was suggested by Benjamin Bishop in the comments of a previous episode. If you'd like to suggest who we cover next, simply leave a comment here on this video, or you can join our Discord. Link is in the description if you want to join the community and submit your stories there. We also... Oh, I almost choked on the air right there. Hold on, let me drink some water. Jeez! We also have a special announcement before we start. We are changing the format here a little bit for these episodes to, well, before we switched it and we were doing summaries of each story rather than reading the stories themselves. Since then, I've been seeing a lot of people coming into the comments wanting me to actually read the stories. You know, people may be at work, school, wherever they're at, or maybe they're just playing the game like how I imagine this series going, and they want all the details. So we're going to try out sort of a hybrid here. I'll be reading the stories for the first time along with all of you, but we're going to keep the more casual aspect of what we've been doing to where we may, you know, stop reading for a second, break it down, talk about what is happening, sort of like a book club. So we're going to try this out. Let me know what you think. And, you know, don't forget, if you like to watch these videos early, or you just want to support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. You get a badge next to your name. You get access to emotes, early videos, just like I just mentioned. And also, you becoming a member, you could be the next Black Panther if you really try your best. I believe in you. And with that, welcome to Chapter 1, Silence Among the Stars. All right, that's a good intro. That'll do. That'll do. All right, let's get started. All right, here we go. The story begins where all stories should. The beginning. While he gazed out over the landscape of the intergalactic empire of Wakanda's throne world, King T'Challa paused for a moment to marvel at what his people had built. His mother had always dreamed of reaching the stars, but T'Challa and his sister Shuri, along with countless brilliant Wakandan scientists and engineers, had finally made the dream a reality. As Wakanda's influence spread across the galaxy, bringing more people and planets under their banner and their protection, the Wakandan ideal, progress and tradition intertwined, science and magic woven together, remained the pillar of the empire. T'Challa T'Challa did his best to embody both sides of the here we go. T'Challa did his best to embody both sides of the nation's complex heritage, but on occasion, he found the two at odds. I assume this is you can't see my cursor. Hold on, let me show my cursor so you know what I'm talking about, huh? There we go. I assume this is gonna be pronounced Jalia, right? I assume it's Jalia. All right, that's what we'll go with. Today, T'Challa stood in the Hall of Jalia, listening for ancient voices that would not speak to him. The Orisha, the pantheon of gods worshipped by the people of Wakanda, had fallen unusually silent, causing great concern. Even Bast, the goddess who had chosen T'Challa as her avatar, the Black Panther, seemed to be absent from this sacred place. Perhaps T'Challa thought they simply had nothing to say, but the King of Wakanda found that hard to believe. Damn, we're getting Bast here? We're getting Bast in the story? Aw. After all, Wakanda was at war. Another king, Victor Von Doom of Latveria, had tampered with the fabric of space and time, unleashing a chronal cascade across countless dimensions. Even T'Challa's empire, which had been a safe haven for so long, wasn't immune to its effects. And now he had learned that there were two... Let me try that one more time. You know what? Let's do the full sentence. Even T'Challa's empire, which had been a safe haven for so long, wasn't immune to its effects. And now he had learned that there were two Dooms from two different timelines vying for control. Both had tried to enlist T'Challa in their battles, suggesting that Wakanda and Latveria were more alike than they were different. T'Challa respectfully disagreed. Oh my. This is heating up. We're getting a lot of backstory super early on. The King of Wakanda knew better than to trust either Doom, but he also knew that time would come. But he also knew the time would come where he would have to choose a side, not only to protect his empire, but all of existence as well. Wakanda could not remain neutral for much longer when so much was at stake. T'Challa had many questions, all of which the gods and goddesses of Orisha refused to answer. All of them, save for one. Oh, it's getting dramatic. Not long ago, while praying to Bast for guidance and wisdom, T'Challa's humble pleas were instead answered by a goddess long banished from Wakanda. Bast's sister, Kaluna. Oh, brother. Kaluna, the betrayer. Her quest for vengeance against her sister had led to Kaluna's ruin centuries ago. That's how I should have read it. That's my bad. Her quest for vengeance against her sister had led to Kaluna's ruin centuries ago, and her name had rarely been uttered by the people of Wakanda since. But now, she had chosen... I just lost where I was. But now, she had chosen to come forth and speak T'Challa. I assume it's supposed to say to T'Challa. Man. I don't know if it's me or them. But now, she had chosen to come forth and speak to T'Challa in Bast's absence, warning him of a darkness to come. A darkness that she claimed had already tainted the Orisha. T'Challa didn't know what to believe. Certainly not the words of one of a treacherous... of one Ash... Man... I think you understand why I switch over to the summaries. T'Challa didn't know what to believe. Certainly not the words of one as treacherous as Kalunya. He dared not to... 1 second. He dared not risk allying himself with Bast's deceitful sister, in fear that the Orisha might rain their judgment down upon the entire empire for his disloyalty. But yet, something in the betrayer's words rang true. The Orisha's silence had given T'Challa cause for concern, and now Kalunya had sowed seeds of doubt. It was taking all of T'Challa's willpower not to let those seeds grow wild. But the reason for the Orisha's absence would have to remain a mystery for a while longer. The King of Wakanda had other more urgent matters to attend to. He had been summoned by his sister, Shuri, to discuss some recent developments regarding the restoration of the time stream. One crisis at a time, thought T'Challa, as he took a deep breath and entered the lab. I'd probably still be in the first paragraph. Oh, hell yeah. Welcome, brother. Shuri Ted. Fuck. Welcome, brother, Shuri said as T'Challa stepped into the room. All of the scientists inside, Shuri included, crossed their arms in an X across their chests as a salute to their monarch. Sister, T'Challa responded with a smile and a salute of his own. The two had not agreed on much these past weeks since the time stream began to disintegrate, but he still had a deep love for his sister. Fuck. Damn, dude. These are not even complex sentences. But he still had a deep love for his sister and an even deeper respect for her work. Shuri then asked, "Were you off brooding in the Hall of Jalia?" Shuri then asked, "Were you off brooding in the Hall of Jalia again?" Not brooding. Waiting for guidance. Your people are waiting for you to guide them. And I think I can help. I've been gathering data about the time stream entanglement. Okay, I'm probably gonna cut it in a way where I should probably cut it to where I interrupt myself. All right, let's try that one more time. Your people are waiting for you to guide them. And I think I can help. I've been gathering data about the time stream entanglement and... Data does not always tell the whole story, sister, T'Challa said. As he spoke, he was fully aware of the irony of... Fuck! See, what trips me up isn't necessarily the words, it's that in real time I'm catching myself reading it. I'm like, this is not the tone in which I should be reading the sentence. And then I start stumbling over my words once I start thinking about that. That's my problem. As he spoke, he was fully aware of the irony of his statement. He was currently withholding critical data about Kalunya and her claims that the Orisha had fallen into some dark corruption. Yet he decided to keep that information under wraps for the time being, at least until he knew for sure. He did not wish to distract his sister from her efforts, nor to bring the fury of Bast down upon him. Oh my, the conflict. This data tells us enough. Fury continued, fully aware that her older brother was holding something back, but she didn't have time to seek to. It's the damn tone, brother. All right, but she didn't have time to coax secrets out of him. There was science to be done. Oh, here we go. I have been consulting with Reed Richards and Tony Stark from the other Chronoverse on their planet. Holy shit, another universe. I just surprised myself. Let me try reading that one more time. Okay. I have been consulting with Reed Richards and Tony Stark from the other Chronoverse on their plans for a time stream reintegration device. And I think we are close to a breakthrough. Oh my. All right, hold on. Let's take a second. All right. This is probably clear beforehand, but this is like almost exact confirmation now. So Wolverine, Magneto, Black Widow, Captain America, that's one timeline. It's one universe. And I'm assuming, hold on, Black Panther. We don't know which Black Panther this is. We don't know if this is a Black Panther that is helping Black Widow and Wolverine and everybody, or if this is a separate one. Hopefully here in this story we get an answer, because they're starting to separate the universe. They're about to tell us where they fit in. Okay, so we at least know that this Black Panther is separate from, say, the Spider-Man story, Iron Man, Moon Knight, all of them. We know those are separate, because those are the guys dealing with the time stream reintegration device. All right, let's continue. T'Challa says, with your brilliant mind at their disposal, I would expect nothing less. He said that proudly, placing a hand gently upon his sister's shoulder. But he could sense an unusual tension in her body. He knew she was about to ask him for something, and that it was something that she already knew her brother would not like. She wanted tickets to Kraven the Hunter. No way! So then Shuri is like, okay, let me ask the second question. You see, Reed and Tony have a theory. Fury began to say slowly, each word carefully calculated. A theory that I believe has some merit. Say what you need, sister. Chronovium. Nope, she said quietly. Chronovium. Shuri said, knowing her brother might disapprove. More specifically, Vibranium. Am I pronouncing that right? Vibranio Chronovium. Chronovium was a crystal that had begun to manifest after the time stream entanglement ripped across realities. According to the research of Wakanda scientists, unique variations of chronovium seem to be forming in locations of great power. In Wakanda, the crystals were infused with more than just chrono energy. They also contained power drawn directly from the vibranium star at the heart of the Empire. Richards and Stark have their own supplies, T'Challa said. Those will have to suffice. I'm telling you now, brother, they will not. Fury argued with him. The fate of multiple universes hinge on her collaboration with Earth's heroes. This was no time for her big brother to be his usual stubborn self. This is just an excuse for Stark to get his. This is not just an excuse for Stark to get his hands on Wakanda's toys. I have run the numbers independently. The TRD can restore our dimension to its proper state, but it needs a power source greater than what standard Chronovium can supply. T'Challa responds by simply saying, "The answer is no." Then the question is why? Wait, whatever T'Challa was at. Okay, I could just read that. Then the answer is why. No, the answer is why. What? Then the question is why, Shuri said, pushing back. Whatever T'Challa was hiding from her, he wasn't about to let it bring about the end of all that is. If there was a way to get through to her brother, as there always had been in the past, he had to find him. I cannot say, T'Challa replied. Nope. T'Challa responds by saying, I cannot say. Not for certain, at least. But I have reason to believe that there is a greater darkness awaiting us, Shuri. Something even the gods themselves may not be able to protect our people from. Oh my. Then let us protect them together. For now, this is a matter I must face alone. Shuri cannot believe it. How many times must I remind you, brother? You were never alone, and neither are we. Wakanda is no longer an isolationist country. I don't know why I said country right there. The word is right there. Wakanda is no longer an isolationist nation. We are a galactic force. If we wish for this empire to stand, we must act. No, we must begin. We must begin to act as such and lead by example. That starts by sharing our resources with those in need. We still know too little about the power of vibranium. Man, I was in the zone. Why'd they have to throw that in there? Vibrano, Chronovium, Vibrano. T'Challa responds, we still have too little to, what am I gonna say? Too little to worry about? What am I gonna say? All right. T'Challa responds saying, we still know too little about the power of Vibrano Chronovium. We cannot risk it falling into other hands, even trusted ones, until we do. But, T'Challa continues, you have my permission to further your research on the crystals in hopes that we can safely unlock their secrets in order to pass them along. And until then, I offer our allies unlimited access to Wakanda's greatest resource. You. Shuri wanted to scream in frustration at her brother, but instead, she bit her tongue and took the compliment. After all, coming from T'Challa, those were almost as rare as heart-shaped herbs. As T'Challa left the lab, Shuri let out a big sigh of frustration, knowing how much work she had ahead of her. But the king himself breathed a sigh of relief, knowing the fate of the Empire was in good hands. At least, for the moment. With Shuri busy researching chrono crystals and engineering universal solutions, T'Challa could turn his full attention to the larger threat looming on the horizon. Even the pair of dueling dooms would have to wait until he could identify and locate the great resource of darkness of which he had been warned. But how? How is he going to do this? T'Challa dared not to reach out to Kalunia for answers. Totems of Bast were everywhere in the Empire. Even if she was not eager to answer his prayers, the Panther Goddess will surely be listening to his every word. And she would not take kindly to his betrayal. No, let me try that one more time. and she would not take kindly to his betrayal. Wakanda needed the Black Panther now more than ever, so T'Challa could not risk being stripped of his mantle of the power that came with it. The king walked with purpose across the center of his city, burning T'Challa, back towards the Hall of Jallia. As he passed by, he paused at the panther statue, placing his hand gently upon his head. Not his head. As he passed by, he paused at a panther statue, placing his hand gently upon its head. "Where are you, Bast?" T'Challa said out loud as he... "Where are you, Bast?" T'Challa said out loud as he gazed into the eyes of the Oh, brother. "Where are you, Bast?" T'Challa said out loud as he gazed into the eyes of the vibranium. Vibranium. It's an N right there, brother. Get it together. Here we go. "Where are you, Bast?" T'Challa said out loud as he gazed into the eyes of the vibranium sculpture. "I am here," a voice replied, the statue beginning to glow with purple energy of Jallia, the Wakandan spirit plane. T'Challa instantly knew it was Bast speaking to him, but there was a tone in her voice he had never heard before. Something sinister. "I have been waiting for you, my champion, in the shadows." "I am at your service," T'Challa said, knowing deep within that his words were not fully true. Yet he knew that he must continue to feign devotion to the tainted goddess until he discovered the truth about her current state. "And you have served me well," Bast replied, her words dripping with darkness. "But you are not the only king in black that I have come to favor." "Oh my, king in black, you say? Oh, you know how long I've been waiting for this?" As Bast spoke, the sky began to grow dim. Instinctively, T'Challa looked up toward the Hall of Jallia to see the tendrils of ebony energy ensnaring its sacred spire. He didn't know if this was yet another side effect of the time stream entanglement, or if this was the first signs of a dark presence, that of which Kalunia alluded. But T'Challa knew he had no time to waste either. The fate of the Empire depended upon his immediate action. The Black Panther sprung forward, racing into the Hall of Jallia. T'Challa... No. Man, I was going. The Black Panther sprung into action, racing into the Hall of Jallia. T'Challa did not know what awaited him within, but he did not fear it. Not even the gods themselves could prevent him from protecting... Nope. Not even the gods themselves could protect him from prevent him. One more time. T'Challa did not know what awaited him within, but he did not fear it. Not even the gods themselves could prevent him from protecting his people in their time of need. Even in the face of the greatest threats, even in the face of the greatest threats of the universe had ever known, there was only one thing to which T'Challa would Damn, brother. Let's wrap it up. Even in the face of the greatest threats the universe had ever known, there was only one thing to which T'Challa would pledge his loyalty. Not Doom, not even Bast, just Wakanda. Forever. And that, my rivals, is the end of Chapter 1. All right, what do we think about that chapter? Besides me stumbling my way through it. Ugh. Man, this was a very interesting story. We got some background on the TRD, about some what's going on with the vibranium, not vibranium, but also vibranium, chronovium. We learned that both of the we learned that both of the Doctor Dooms wanted to work with T'Challa, and he declined both of them. It's now clear that Iron Man, Moon Knight, Reed Richards are from a different universe than Black Panther is. And as we're reading the story, we were... Fuck, dude. I hope I'm not getting sick. It's winter, you know what I mean? It'd be like that. I don't know if I'm getting sick or if it's allergies. These allergies mess me up all the time. Okay. What was I even saying? Oh, yeah. And if you're unaware, for this story, while we were reading it, we were streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. And we have Nolan in the chat over on YouTube giving their thoughts on the story, saying Bast has been influenced by a symbiote. I don't know if it's Noel. It probably is. But there is more with Shuri in the final page of the Doom's Rise comic There is more in the final page of the Doom's Rise comic in the gallery. Oh my. Yeah, it seems like they're tying this to... Yeah, I definitely, you know, if you didn't catch that, the King in Black, that's what they called Null. And it was referenced here in this story. So they may be tying Wakanda in this story with Venom's story. Which could be very interesting because in that story itself, we saw Adam Warlock. So that's pretty cool stuff. I'm liking this. We're getting some answers. But what did you think of the story? Go down in the comments. Let me know. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Also, let me know, what do you think about this new hybrid of a format we're doing where we read the entire story now? And with all of that said, I thank you for watching. But you have to remember, even though I thank you for watching, you're not going to take that purple herb from me, man. I'm going to be the next Black Panther. You and I, we are rivals till the end. And no matter how many times that you try to break into one cup. Oh, fuck. I can't even do the intro. There we go. Okay, I think... I'm going to mute myself. You don't want to hear this. But you have to remember, even though I thank you for watching, you and I, we are rivals till the end. And no matter how many pieces of vibranium you give me, I am never going to forget that. There we go. Holy shit. 35-minute recording. That's probably not all me reading, but still. All right. Let me save this. That was a cool story, man. I like that. I like that. Oh, man. I'm going to have to record Black Panther gameplay for this story. I'm not a good Black Panther player, I'll be honest. What's up, Hound? Fury is all over the lore. Do you think she'll be playable sometime? She make for the perfect strategist, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so. I hope they get everybody in. I mean, probably some people they've mentioned is just for the lore reasons, but like, I kind of want to take it literally, and everybody's gonna show up at some point. So I'm talking like, I want to see Nathaniel, not Nathaniel. You know what? Yeah, Nathaniel Richards in the future would be crazy. I'm talking Franklin and Valeria were mentioned. I'm hoping we get to play as them. Odin has been mentioned. I hope at some point Odin shows up. Shuri would be cool. She would be a good strategist. That's a good call right there. That would be the best role for her. What's up, Colton? That story was pretty fire. Yeah, I like it. I like it. What storyline are you guys liking more? Do you like the vampire story or the where they focus more on the TRD and the nobody's really like gone all in on a plan on the TRD. It's more so like theoretical when they're talking about it. They're trying to come up with a plan. But I think I'm leaning towards that. The vampire one is cool, but I think I'm liking the time stream entanglement focus stories more. I like Cloak and Dagger story. I like Scarlet Witch, of course. We just did that yesterday. I'm liking that one a little bit more. Okay, what story are we doing next? Let's figure this out. Vampire for you? All right, all right. I'm hoping we see the rest of the Guardians like Drax and Gamora, then we can have the full team in a squad. Yeah, I think that's like without a doubt. That's coming soon. You could see what Shuri looks like in the Endgame cinematics for the Wakanda map. She looks great, and they're definitely leaning more Black Panther movie 1 with the scientists over her as Panther. Oh, I like that. I like that. You keep T'Challa as a Black Panther. I like that idea a lot. Okay, next up, let me check the list of people that have already suggested things. Okay, here is, on the YouTube comments, here are what people have suggested and I have put on a list. Let's figure out which among these we're going to do next, all right? Let me lay them, I'm going to list them out for you. All right, we got Hulk, Penny Parker, Namor, Adam Warlock, Squirrel Girl, Psylocke, and Moon Knight. Who do we want to do next? Any suggestions? Psylocke is a follow-up on Mantis and Jess, so it would be out of order. Moon Knight is fun though, funny-ass comic references in there. Okay. I would either do Psylocke or Moon Knight. Psylocke is another story with Mantis, Jeff, and the Collector. Oh! The Moon Knight continues the vampire invasion stuff. Okay, maybe we do Moon Knight. Maybe we do Moon Knight. I think for me, it's either Moon Knight or Adam Warlock I want to do. Let's do Moon Knight first. All right, let me get this information compiled first. Let me look up who suggested Moon Knight. Just got a new comment right now. Saying, from that Loki video. I don't know if anybody here has watched it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is overrated? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Huh? Literally had to pause and go. Oh, hell yeah. All right, let me look it up. Moon Knight. Sakshiam. There we go. That's who suggested it. Oh. I should change my username. I need to come up with a clever username I could change it to. All right, Moon Knight. I don't know why I just said that as like a monster truck commercial. All right. Pretty sure Thor also connects with Doctor Strange. Strange also, I think, sort of starts all of this. Oh. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's do the intro real quick. Let's see if I can do it all in one take. And here we go. It is about that time. Marvel Rivals has a lot of backstory for each character with Easter eggs for characters that may join the game in the future, and storylines that may be explored in later seasons. It is a lot of reading, so I am here to catch you up on the story while you can keep playing the game. Welcome to another episode of our Marvel Rivals lore series, where this time we learn how Mark Spector, Moon Knight, became a rival. We are covering Moon Knight on this episode because it was suggested by Sakshiam in the comments of a previous episode. If you would like to suggest who we cover next, simply leave a comment of this. Damn, I can't even do the intro. If you would like to suggest who we cover next, simply leave a comment on this video or join our Discord, where we have a channel where you could suggest future videos in there as well. If you like to watch videos early, or you just want to support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. You get a badge next to your name, you can use emotes, you get early videos like I just mentioned, and on top of all of that, you could possibly become my avatar if I so choose. And with that, welcome to Chapter 1, The Dusk of the New Moon. Oh, yes, sir. You got this? You're getting in the groove? Ah! Right, here we go. Let's get started. I'm excited. Khonshu! The story begins where all stories should, with an X-Men ripoff. Come to me, my Moon Knight. The ancient voice boomed in the back of Mark Spector's brain, momentarily throwing him off of his game. Momentarily throwing him off his game. It wasn't as if hearing someone else's words in his head was something new. He had been He had been sharing the space with multiple personalities for years now. But this wasn't Jake Lockley or Stephen Grant calling him for his attention. It wasn't even the enigmatic. That's how you say it. It wasn't even the enigmatic Moon Knight. It wasn't even the enigmatic Mr. Knight. This was the boss. First off, they misspelled Lockley right there. I don't know if you caught that. That's what I was thinking about right there. Loxley. I'll let it pass. I'm a bit busy, Spectre replied out loud as he thrust his white boot into the face of yet another garnishly garbed supervillain. Trying to keep the Zodiac from ransacking one of your temples. You sent me here, remember? So you'll need to call back another time. Now, the voice commanded. A sudden burst of pain coursed through Spectre's skull. He closed his eyes for a moment to try to clear his head. And when he opened them again, he was no longer at the heart of an epic battle between good and evil. In fact, he was nowhere. Okay, so nowhere might be a bit dramatic. It's the best that Spectre could come up with to describe the blank white space between planes of reality that he had unexpectedly been transported to. A deafening silence hung in the void. For once, even the other voices in Mark Spector's head had nothing to say. For a moment, he felt as though he was the only being that existed. But he knew better. If he had been summoned here, he was well aware who had done the summoning. I have chosen you for a new battle, my avatar, the ancient voice said, finally breaking the quiet. Mark Spector turned to see an enormous figure towering over him, draped in white Egyptian robes, where his head should have been. Instead, there sat a skull of a long-beaked bird. Its empty sockets peered into Mark Spector's soul, judging him, always judging him. Hey, Khonshu, Spectre replied casually to his patron, the Egyptian god of the moon. Fancy seeing you here. The divine space is where I dwell, Khonshu replied, not seeing any humor in Spectre's words. It is from here that I watch the realms beyond and find those who have earned my vengeance. Oh my. Yeah. And from here that you sit pretty, there we go. Yeah. And from here that you sit pretty while I do your dirty work is... One more time. Yeah. And from here that you sit pretty while I do your dirty work in the real world. This has been our arrangement since your untimely demise years ago. A gruesome fate you were spared by my intervention alone. Do you wish to alter our agreement? No, but I would like to finish one mission before you toss me into the next one. Maybe that's just a mercenary in me, but I have always appreciated your dedication to a task. But more pressing matters have arisen that require your special attention. Something about Khonshu seemed different. He was more confident, more powerful, less scattered than usual. It was almost like all of the fragmented personas that the moon god had presented over the years were suddenly fused into one another. Spectre didn't know what had caused this change, but he thought it must be nice. Fine. Just tell me whose head I need to bust open already. Spectre's unfinished encounter with the Zodiac. Oh my. Spectre's unfinished encounter with the Zodiac had pushed his level of aggression to the boiling point. He didn't want to just stand there and talk anymore. He wanted to get back into the fight. Any fight. What do you know about vampires? Khonshu asked. That they suck? No, I should probably just read the dialogue right there. What do you know of vampires? That they suck? And that Dracula owes me money. Yo! Ain't no way they just did the meme. Goddamn, Dracula owes Mark Spector money. We will never forget that. We will never forget that Dracula owes this man money. All right, let's continue. Khonshu says, as you know, I have long served as a protector for travelers in the night. Vicariously, through me and other fists of Khonshu before me, Spectre mumbled under his breath, but sure, go on. Ever since they first crawled from the darkness ages ago, vampires have imperiled my people and my purpose. And now I have a vision that warns of their threat becoming far more permanent. I thought vampires were immortal. Not many threats more permanent than that. Immortal, yes, but bound by their curse to the cycle of the day and the night. They cannot walk in the sun, so their atrocities are limited to the hours under my watch, when the moon hangs high in the sky. So what's the problem? Is daylight savings time about to end or something? No. Daylight itself is about to end. Spectre turned to see that someone else had unexpectedly entered the divine space, an opposing figure in iron armor, wrapped by a dark green cloak. Spectre instantly recognized the king of Latveria, Victor Von Doom. Yo! There's no way. Dr. Doom? Moon Knight? Face to face? Two titans of our sport? This is sacred territory, Khonshu yelled. You shall not foul it with your presence. Banish him, my Moon Knight. Yeah. I'm on it. As he ran in his enemy's direction, Spectre reached into a pouch on his belt and grabbed a handful of croissant? Why did I say croissant? Crescent. Grabbed a handful of crescent-shaped darts. He hurled them in Doom's direction, but the metal-clad monarch raised his gauntlet and deflected the projectiles as if they were no more than cheap toys. I did not come here for battle, Khonshu, Doom said, beginning to move his hands in a strange series of gestures. But if you must turn your champion against me as a matter of honor, so be it. I don't even know if this is a good Dr. Doom voice, but that's what we're rolling with. As Doom finished his series of hand motions, his armored fist began to glow with mystical flames. Soon, two curved, burning blades materialized in his grip. The daggers of Dormammu, oh my. The daggers of Dormammu should end this night before he... Oh, brother. The daggers of Dormammu should end this night before he even begins, Doom said with a smirk that you could almost feel behind his faceplate. Yeah, good luck with that, Spectre said, taking advantage of Doom's moment of bravado to land a solid fist right to the side of his opponent's masked face. Furious, Furious, Doom lunged at Spectre, swinging his flaming daggers at the white-clad warrior. Spectre dodged the thrust easily at first, but it wasn't long before his reaction started to slow. He barely had time to recover from his battle against the Zodiac, and a 12-on-1 battle tends to take a toll on even the mightiest of heroes. Doom could see his opponent beginning to falter. He started to attack even more relentlessly, eventually gaining the upper hand. A kick to the chest sent Moon Knight stumbling back. Raising the enchanted blades above his head, Doom thrust them at Spectre, narrowly missing his target's body. Instead, the blades pierced through Moon Knight's cape, pinning him down to the floor. One Spectre didn't even realize existed in the emptiness of the divine space. Enough, Khonshu says. You have won the right to speak. And when Doom speaks, all had best listen, for he only speaks once. Moon Knight pulled himself back to his feet, standing between Doom and Khonshu, just in case Doom had any other tricks. Up his iron sleeve. Few recall the real origins of the vampires, but you and I know the truth, Khonshu. Their race was born from an ancient curse inscribed in the pages of the Darkhold, written in the blood of Varney, the first of their kind. It was these vampiric verses that granted them immortal life, and, if my calculations are correct, which they always are, that same spell may hold the key to unlocking the very nature of time itself. I wish to study it further, because you know not what you tamper with, foolish mortal. I would know full well. Had the Sorcerer Supreme not denied me access to the Darkhold, I have good reason to believe he has stashed it away on another plane of reality for safekeeping. Well, it sounds like Strange made the right choice, Spectre said. The last thing we need is you to accidentally unleash more vamps. Hold on, let me try that one more time. Let me retake that. The last thing we need is you to accidentally unleash more vamps on the world. Not the world. No, not the world. All I want is a small portion of it, and that's where you come in. If Khonshu were simply to hold his beloved moon in the sky and shroud a single city in eternal night, it would allow me all the time I need to unlock the secrets of the vampires, even without access to the vampiric verses themselves. You're crazy! That city would instantly become a nesting ground for the creatures of the night. Khonshu then butts in. Such an act would endanger countless innocents. Oh, let me try that one more time. Such an act would endanger countless incidents. Such an act would endanger countless innocents. Please, Doom laughed. Since when have the gods cared about the lives of a few million merely mortals? Measly. I should say measly. Since when have the gods cared about the lives of a few million measly mortals? Together, we could use the vampires however we wish, then dispose of them completely when we go. I will not allow this discussion to continue any further. There is far more at stake here than you could ever hope to know. A coming darkness lurking among the gods, a shadow even I may not even be able to defeat. And by I, he really means me. My avatar may have lacked the skill required to Here we go. My avatar may have lacked the skill required to remove you from this plane, but I have no such limits. You fool! You're making a terrible mistake. Doom will have what he wishes, one way or another. As Doom's voice disappeared, a haunting silence returned to the empty whiteness surrounding Mark Spector. Khonshu was still there, but for once, it seemed the god of the moon had nothing to say. Mark Spector asks, "So, what now?" "I must locate the Darkhold at once." You mean the book with the spell that makes vampires? Isn't it better off stowed away wherever Strange put it? Just as the vampiric verses created our true enemies, there is another spell within the Book of the Sins, the Montesi formula, that could take their gift away. Permanently. So, while you're cruising the astral plane looking for a lost library book, what on earth am I going to be doing? Protecting the night and delivering my vengeance, as you always have. And when Doom lives up to his promise and finds a way to unleash the blood-sucking hordes, then what? Then you must be ready, and so must I. I'm no vampire slayer. Isn't that Blade's gig? Why not call him? Because the Daywalker is not my fist of vengeance. Khonshu replied defiantly, clearly angered at his own servant would dare question him. Also, he is currently unavailable. No, he said it quietly. Also, he is currently unavailable. All right then. But those fangers are about to find out that they aren't the only ones who want blood, okay? I expect no less. Now go on, my Moon Knight. And serve me. And serve me. Spectre blinked for a split second, opening his eyes to discover that he was no longer in the divine space. Now, he was standing on a New York City rooftop. The silence was replaced by a symphony of sounds, including a scream emanating from a nearby alleyway. He was glad to be home. As Moon Knight leapt off the edge of a building and swung across the night sky on a gripping cable, his bright web cape billowed out behind him, luminous in the light of the full moon. It must have been a glorious sight to behold, he thought. But if Khonshu and Doom were ever right about what was to come, Mark Spector knew his costume wouldn't stay white much longer. And that, my rivals, is the end of Chapter 1. Brother, I'll tell you this right now, this may be in my top 3 stories we've done so far. Dude, Dr. Doom showing up in the divine space? Screaming at Khonshu? That's some good stuff, man. That is some good stuff. Dr. Doom looking for the Darkhold. And we know in one of the realities that the Darkhold it doesn't exist anymore. And what is it? All right, let's break this down a little bit. Let's talk about this. All right, in the Scarlet Witch story, she had never come into direct contact with the Darkhold, even though she knows about it. But also in a previous story, I remember the pages of the Darkhold pretty much spread out across the city of New York. I wonder if that's the same thing as the Scarlet Witch one, or are those two different ones? I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comments. but this is very interesting. Dr. Doom's looking for the Darkhold. We know that eventually Khonshu gets it. So we know that. And we know that Moon Knight eventually finds Tony Stark and wants to do a Dark Knight. He wants to do the, what is it? The Montesi formula from the Darkhold. So we know eventually Moon Knight gets the Darkhold. But Doctor Strange is trying to get the Darkhold from Khonshu. So how is he not going to get the Darkhold? Or is it going to be, you know, some timeline shenanigans? As in, we don't know chronologically how these events unfold. It's going to be very interesting. And then we are streaming this story live on Twitch, on YouTube. We got Nolan in the chat saying we'll probably get answers to that in Strange's story. Oh, interesting, interesting. All right, well, let me know. What did you think of the story? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? I really enjoyed the Doctor Doom and Khonshu argument. That was pretty cool. I like when these stories are, when they butt heads over ideals and their ideologies. I like that a lot. I think that's the most interesting part. I like when Reed Richards and Tony Stark were going at it. I like here with Khonshu and Doctor Doom. I like that stuff. When they're arguing about the theoreticals and the hypotheticals for the time stream and the magic they're using to fix curses and stuff. I like that a lot. Well, let me know what you thought in the comments. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And with all of that said, I thank you for watching. But you have to remember, even though I thank you for watching, you and I, we are rivals till the end. And I don't care if you're my avatar or not, I am never going to forget that. There we go. Another story down. Yes, sir. I think we have time for one more. What's up, Thriller, over on YouTube? Hello. All right, who should we do next? What are we thinking? Do we do Doctor Strange? Or do we do Adam Warlock? This next one is going to be the 10th episode, so let's do something crazy. Let's do something cool with it. Jeff's story mentions 3 characters who aren't playable yet, and it opens another avenue of the lore that hasn't been covered yet. Yo, what? What's up, Rival? Enjoying the read-through? Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Would love to see the Guardians. I love them so much. Aw. I am curious about Jeff now. All right, how we feeling? Do we do Jeff or Adam Warlock right now? Oh my, great number. We just hit 3,969 subscribers. Nice. And we're almost at 4,000. That's crazy. That's nuts. Good stuff. Jeffrey is the chillest. Jeffrey. Oh, hell yeah. We gotta start calling him Jeffrey. Jeffrey is the chillest boy, so him. Let's... How long is it? Let's see how long it is. I think it might come down to the length. Pause? Sharknado? Oh my. Okay. Adam Warlock has stuff with Thor just from glancing at his chapter. Okay, you know what? Taking in everything into account right here, since Hound mentioned that the Jeff story, the Jeffrey, the land shark story, includes some non-playable character references, I think that would be a good episode 10 for the series. And then we could do like an Adam Warlock and Thor back-to-back episode, since apparently those two are tied together. So that would be cool. I think that's what we're gonna do. Let's do Jeff right here. That's crazy. 10 episodes in now, and we're only a third of the way through all of the characters, and then even that, we're only on chapter 1 for all of them. That's crazy. That's a lot of lore. I love it. What's been everybody's favorite story that we've done in the series so far? I mentioned it earlier. I think mine are still like Cloak and Dagger, Scarlet Witch. You know what? Venom might be up there. I like Venom a lot. Iron Man's was cool. I expect to hear some amazing voice acting on the Jeff quotes. I'm not that good of a voice actor. I don't know if I can pull that off. He has some insightful commentary on the time stream and yo, he has commentary? We're gonna learn about the big man and his thoughts on the entanglement? Oh my. Okay, I think we are ready. All right, let's get it going. It is about that time. Marvel Rivals has a lot of backstory for each character with Easter eggs for characters that may join the game in the future, and storylines that may be explored in later seasons. It is a lot of reading, so I am here to catch you up on the story while you can keep playing the game. Welcome to another episode of our Marvel Rivals lore series, where this time we learn how Jeff the Land Shark became a rival. And we are covering Jeffrey here on this episode because it was suggested by Hound in the comments of a previous episode. So if you'd like to suggest who we cover next, simply leave a comment here on this video, or you could join our Discord server where we have a channel where you could do the same thing over there. And if you'd like to watch videos early, or you just want to support the channel, consider becoming a YouTube channel member. You get a badge next to your name. You get access to emotes. You get early access to videos like I just mentioned, and being a channel member means that you may turn into a shark tomorrow. There's no guarantees, but it might happen. And with all of that said, and with that, we welcome you to Chapter 1. Nope, that's not how I do it. And with that, welcome to Chapter 1, Sharknado. Aw. Here we go. The story begins where all stories should. The beginning. As Jeff the Land Shark swam another lap around his small glass enclosure, frustration finally beginning to settle in. He had tried so hard to stay his usual optimistic self, even after he lost track of how long he had been held captive here inside this strange theme park created by the enigmatic elder of the universe known as the Collector. We're starting off hot. We're introducing the Collector here at the start of the story, where all stories should start, the beginning. Oh, here we go. Jeff didn't really know how he got here in the first place. 1 second, he was frolicking in the endless waves, lapping at the California coast with his best friend forever, Gwen. What? Gwen? The next, he was here, trapped within a tiny tank that couldn't seem to chomp his way out of, no matter how wide he opened his powerful little jaws. But since his unexpected arrival, Jeff had pieced together why he was here. Surrounding his own enclosure were countless other holding cells, each containing unique specimens of life forms he had never even seen before. Some almost looked like the human friends he had made back home, but others were so bizarre and alien that they couldn't possibly have lived on the land or beneath the waves of this. Holy shit. Some almost looked like... Oh, brother. Some almost looked like the human friends he had made back home, but others were so bizarre and alien that they couldn't possibly have lived on the land or beneath the waves of his native world. Jeff had visited a zoo before with another of his friends, the archer called Kate, and now he thought he was probably in one, just another exhibit on display in an intergalactic menagerie on the edge of the known universe. Dude, we're starting off. We got the Collector, we got Gwen, and we have Kate Bishop being referenced. Oh my. Jeff didn't love being confined in this tank, but he had taken some comfort in the fact that he wasn't here alone. And while none of the other creatures around him seemed to be fluent in land shark, there was one fellow captive whose thoughts Jeff could hear in his own head. She said her name was Mantis, and that she was a friend. And if there's one thing that Jeff loved, other than devouring everything in his path, of course, it was new friends. Oh my? Is this true? But one thing that Jeff hated was when those friends were in trouble. Which brings us back to why Jeff has suddenly lost his cheerful demeanor in the first place. Jeff had felt Mantis's psionic. There we go, psionic. I don't know why I was pausing there. Jeff had felt Mantis's psionic scream as she was removed from her cell and dragged away. He had heard the guards talking. Let me get some water. I'll try that one more time. He had heard the guards talking about taking her. There we go. He had heard the guards talking about taking her to some sort of arena where the collector's prisoners were forced to fight for their lives against multi-dimensional variants of themselves. Jeff had no idea what any of that meant, but he did know that Mantis was in trouble. He couldn't hear her voice in his head anymore. He couldn't feel her calming presence. He couldn't see where she was or if she was safe, and that made Jeff mad. Jeff began to swim frenzied circles in his tank, increasing his speed by swirling his tail and patting his tiny legs as fast as he could. When he had built up enough momentum, he propelled himself towards the wall that separated him from his freedom. But the only result was a sharp pain in his sweet little face smushed against the crystal clear wall. Not even the slightest chip or crack could be seen in the glass, though a few may have been left behind in his teeth. It was clear that Jeff would need another plan if he wanted to escape. As he floated there, dazed from the impact, Jeff wondered what his friends back home would do if they were in his situation. Kate would probably use an explosive arrow. Gwen would find an unexpected way to break through the wall. Probably a fourth wall. Elsa would have hidden some ancient enchanted blade in her ponytail to slice through the impenetrable glass. And Wade would simply sweet-talk the guards into letting him out, winning their favor with false promises of money and tacos. None of those options would work for Jeff. He was stuck there, and the thoughts of his lost friends, including Mantis, left him feeling more and more alone with every second that passed. Dude, Elsa Bloodstone reference? Deadpool reference? This is crazy. Let's continue. But then he sensed it, a familiar tingle in his brain. Mantis was alive, and she was coming back. For him. Jeff couldn't help but grin as his friend approached, flashing several rows of serrated teeth in her direction. This was the first time he had seen Mantis in person. But while he may not have known her face, he immediately recognized her mind. Now that mind was clearly focused on one thing only: escaping from captivity once and for all. Murr! He's going to draw the guards, another voice said. In all his excitement, Jeff hadn't even noticed that Mantis was not alone. He had another humanoid with her, this one far more dark and brooding in demeanor. She did not look nearly as happy to see Jeff as Mantis did, and to be honest, Jeff wasn't convinced that he liked her much better either. Mer? Jeff grunted quizzically, noticing the way the second woman was looking at him. He felt as though she was sizing him up, preparing to strike him down the second he was no longer any glass between the two. Don't mind her, Mantis said as she started to activate the release mechanism on the side of Jeff's enclosure. She wants to get out of here as badly as we do, and she knows the only way we can make it happen is if we work together. Jeff smiled at Mantis, and she smiled right back. Despite the fact that they were attempting to break out of the collector's exhibition, with no real idea how to escape or where they could go if they did get free, there was something about this humanoid that made Jeff feel like everything was gonna be all right. And it was clear he had the same effect on her. Oh my? Mantis continued to fiddle with the latch on Jeff's tank just as a squadron of armed guards came into view. As the guards shouted something in an alien language, Jeff could sense that Mantis was already reaching out with her mind in hopes of diverting them. But as quick as Mantis's thoughts were, somehow their new friend managed to get the collector's crew first. Her blades flashed in a glittering dance, and in seconds, the guards were down for the count. Jeff couldn't have been more impressed. "Myrrh," Jeff said, trying to express his appreciation to the purple-haired warrior. Her cold gaze never softened. Jeff could sense that her mind was powerful, just like Mantis's, but her thoughts and emotions were heavily guarded. Jeff wanted his new friend to like him as much as Mantis did, but for now, he would have to simply accept that she no longer seemed to want to kill him to leave him behind. Or leave him behind. Mantis finally managed to swing the door open of Jeff's tank, releasing a flood. I thought there was a comma there. Releasing a flood of water into the hallway. Jeff emerged from the miniature wave it created, propping himself up on the stubby legs and giving his body a quick shake to expel any excess moisture from his skin. Mantis laughed with pure delight as a deluge of droplets rained down on her. The other woman was not nearly as amused. "Let's go," Mantis said, beckoning to her unlikely pair of partners. She began to run through the collector's menagerie with a determination that made Jeff believe she knew where she was going. The warrior woman stayed close at Mantis' side, so Jeff felt the best thing to do was bound along right behind them. As Mantis and her companion forged ahead, Jeff suddenly found himself distracted by an unusual smell. What is that? It was unlike anything he had ever encountered before, either on land or in the sea. It smelled delicious and powerful. Before he realized what he was doing, Jeff had veered off from his companions, entering the collector's private gallery. Here, the Elder of the Universe had gathered some of the most powerful items and artifacts in all of existence and was displaying them for his wealthiest patrons to gaze upon. Jeff didn't know what any of these strange things were. Not the 6 colorful stones, nor the glowing cube, nor the otherworldly crimson gem, nor the flaming demonic scroll. But he did know one thing. He had not eaten in a very long time. Oh my. Infinity stones. The Tesseract. Jeff doesn't care about any of this. He's like, where is my food at? I respect it. Jeff's instincts took control. He opened his tiny jaws wide and started to swallow down almost everything in the gallery as quickly as he could. Alarms began to blare, but it didn't stop Jeff from consuming one object of power after another. "There you are, Jeff," Mantis cried as she and her mysterious ally entered the now empty gallery. "We thought we had lost you. Are you okay?" "Merp!" Jeff belched in response. His tiny tummy had started to rumble after he had gulped down a little metal. As he started to rumble after he had gulped down a little metal vial marked PIM. Yo, this dude's eating PIM particles? No way. As Jeff blushed with embarrassment, Mantis chuckled. Even the steel-willed stranger couldn't help but smirk. But all levity instantly faded as another group of guards arrived in the gallery. One guard shouts, "Tivian is going to have our heads!" as he realized that all the artifacts in the private gallery had somehow vanished. "Not if we bring him theirs first," another guard responded, aiming his weapon directly at Mantis and pulled the trigger. Murder! Without a second of hesitation, Jeff leapt between the guard and Mantis, instinctively shielding his friend from the oncoming blast. But as he intercepted the attack, something extraordinary happened. Jeff grew to 10 times his regular size. mused the warrior woman. Must have been something he ate. The enlarged Jeff let out a delighted squeal as he charged towards the guards, all of whom dropped their weapons and retreated as swiftly as possible. As soon as they were in the clear, Jeff beaconed Mantis and her friend to follow him. That's not the way. Dude. I may have to go back to summaries, man. I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this, man. I'm not a good narrator. That's not the right way, friend, Mantis said. We found the hangar. It's in the other direction. That hall will just lead you back to your cell. Mer, Jeff said confidently, fully aware of what he was doing. Oh, I see. Good boy, Jeff. The woman raced after the giant Jeff back into the heart of the menagerie. Mantis cries out, "Stand back, everyone!" as the alien ensemble took coven within their cells. As the alien assemblage took cover. Brother! As the alien assemblage took cover within their cells, the massive land shark gave a mighty twirl, swinging his tail with tremendous force and shattering through the outer glass walls of countless enclosures. The life forms once trapped within suddenly emerged from holding and scattered in all directions, each seeking their own way out of the collector's custody. Mer? Jeff asked as he began to shrink back down to his normal size. Mantis responds, I know, Jeff, but we don't have time to save them all, at least not yet. Come on, the curious companion said, leading Jeff and Mantis through the chaos and back towards the hangar. This may be our only chance. Together, they entered the hangar, and Mantis located a spacecraft similar to the one that she had flown during her time with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my! I kind of already knew it was Gamora, I'll be honest. Not to be that guy, but I kind of already knew. Once I heard purple hair, I already knew, bro. It's a wrap. I'm the greatest of all time. Relief washed over her as she led her new teammates onto the ship and powered it up. The woman said, "We are finally free. We can go home now." But the stoic warrior paused. She didn't need Mantis's empathic abilities to sense the sadness radiating through Jeff's mind as he looked back towards the creatures rampaging through the theme park below them. And they will be free too, Mantis said reassuringly, placing a hand on Jeff's smooth fin and giving it a gentle rub. We will find help and come back for them. We will free every single one of them, and we will make sure the collector pays for what he had done. How does that sound, little one? As the ship lifted off, Jeff responded as only he could, with a toothy grin and an emphatic "Murr!" I'll be honest, I don't know if reading it is the way to go. I'm not too good at it. That's not Gamora, that's Psylocke? Is it really? Is Psylocke associated with the Guardians? I just read purple hair and then later Guardians. I'm like, that's Gamora. I was not aware that they were associated together. Psylocke, huh? Interesting. It was Mantis who was associated with the Guardians. Reread the line. Oh. Oh man, I'm out here spreading misinformation. That's crazy. Guardians, Guardians, Guardians. Here we go. Oh, it's right at the end. Together they entered the hangar, and Mantis located a spacecraft similar to the one. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Psylocke, huh? Interesting. Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm gonna move forward with this format. I think I personally like the summaries. What do you guys think? Yeah, we knew Psylocke was coming to the game a while before she was revealed because Jeff and Mantis' lore could be read in the betas and they were directly mention her heavily. Mantis has her name. Oh. Sorry, I'm thinking. That's why Jeff frames Psylocke mysteriously. Technically speaking, when we first saw the lore, Psylocke wasn't in the game. I think I personally lean towards the summaries instead of reading them. Because not only am I not the best reader, but we have a bot over on the Twitch chat that I need to get rid of. Give me 1 second. Twitch viewers, do not click that link, but I'm sure you already know that. But yeah, Jeff mentioned Collector, Elsa, Kate Bishop, Gwenpool, and Deadpool. I feel like Collector is probably the only an NPC like the Master Weaver, but those other 4 are big names. Yeah, that is a pretty good pool of potential inclusions. Kate Bishop is very interesting because the devs have said that they don't want to add characters that are very similar to the ones they already have in the game. Like, we're probably not getting X-23. And like, Kate Bishop is very similar to Hawkeye. So that is interesting. I mean, they could do the thing where, you know, she's got specialized arrows, and that could be different enough. I wouldn't be against it. But I feel like they would have to add something else to it. Like a very unique ultimate ability. Deadpool, yo, he's gonna be crazy. I want him to have that dual wielded pistol. I think that would be cool. I mean, that's kind of what Star-Lord does, but you know what I mean. To be fair, Hawkeye is very Ronin in this game. Yeah, that's true. And Kate has never really had gone through the Ronin route. That is true. She could be more like a traditional Hawkeye type character in place of that, that could be cool. I'm not against it. I'm just questioning it more so in terms of how the devs of the game feel about that. You know what I mean? All right. I saw a funny concept for Gwenpool where she activates her ultimate, but she literally looks at the screen and presses the ultimate symbol in the bottom right herself, and I've been sold on her since. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I wonder if Deadpool will be fourth wall breaking as well. She-Hulk? I don't know if they're gonna add She-Hulk. I don't know if they would add She-Hulk, right? Like, Red Hulk is different enough. I don't know if She-Hulk is different enough from regular Hulk. Besides, like, the fourth wall breaks and stuff. Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm, like, in a crisis of content right now on how to proceed. Whether I do summaries or read the stories. So I got everything recorded. I think I'm going to spend the night thinking about it. I think about the pros and cons of each one. So probably no YouTube video today because I have work tonight, so I probably won't even have time to put out a video if I even wanted to. I think I'm going to spend the night. We're probably going to stream tomorrow as well, a little bit earlier than what we did today. At that point, I'm either going to have my decision. If we choose to keep going with the reading through the stories, we'll just keep reading stories on tomorrow's stream. If not, if I choose to do summaries, I think we're going to go back on the stories we did today, and then I'll start the stream and already have like a summary version of it that I'll go through, and we'll do that. And then from there, if we're still live, maybe we do the whole process in real time. We read stories together live, and then we put together a summary as we're going along. I think that's the fork in the road that we're at right now. So I'll think about it. I'll think about it. She-Hulk should be fine. People already complain that Hulk doesn't feel like Hulk. Plus, Jen wouldn't have the transforming gimmick. That is true. That is true. Mechanically, they could be very different if they wanted to make it so. All right, well, I'm going to hop off. I got to get ready for work. Hopefully you enjoyed your time here. I know the format may not stick around or not, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the stories. I think I did. Black Panther, Moon Knight, Jeffrey, the Land Shark. I think I liked Moon Knight's the best. Yo, Khonshu and Dr. Doom, dude. Yo. I like that a lot. All right, thank you for hanging out. See you on tomorrow's stream with the decision. Join the Discord server if you want to be part of that. Go check out the YouTube videos if you're watching over on Twitch. The YouTube channel is popping off right now. We're having a lot of fun over there. And while an ad is playing, I am going to get out of here. Thank you.